In a small town surrounded by quiet hills and winding paths, there stood an old wooden bridge that connected two parts of the village. On one side lived people who relied on habits passed down through generations. On the other side lived those who believed in learning new things every day. For years, the bridge remained unused. Many believed there was no need to cross it, as life seemed comfortable and familiar. Days passed in repetition, and little changed. Crops grew the same way, work followed the same patterns, and minds stayed within the boundaries of what was already known. One day, a young learner began to notice small problems. The crops were not growing as well as before. Tools were wearing out faster, and tasks took longer than they should. Instead of accepting these challenges, the learner grew curious. Books were gathered, ideas were studied, and observations were carefully noted. The learner decided to cross the old wooden bridge. On the other side, a different world appeared, one filled with libraries, teachers, and endless opportunities to understand how things worked. Knowledge was not just stored in books, it was applied in real life. People experimented, failed, improved, and succeeded. Days turned into weeks as the learner absorbed new skills. Methods of farming improved, tools were repaired more efficiently, and time was used wisely. Knowledge slowly transformed into confidence. When the learner returned across the bridge, the change was visible, not just in actions, but in thinking. Problems were no longer obstacles, they were opportunities to learn and grow. Gradually, others in the village began to notice the difference. They saw how education had created solutions, saved time, and improved life. Curiosity spread from one person to another, and soon more villagers began crossing the bridge. The once forgotten wooden bridge became a path of progress. Over time, the village transformed into a place where learning never stopped. Education was no longer seen as a task, but as a powerful tool that shaped better lives. The bridge still stood strong, not just as a structure of wood, but as a symbol of growth, reminding everyone that the journey to knowledge is the path to a brighter future.